Hello, I'm Kim,
And I'm Andy.
and together we
We
are
are
the
the
I
I
Wonder
Wonder
Sisters.
Sisters. Merry Christmas,
Me-
everybody.
Merry Christmas, and we are actually doing this on Christmas. So we just want to say hello. We hope everybody's having a wonderful holiday, however you celebrate, whatever you celebrate, however you do it. We hope that it's a beautiful one. And I'm going to slide away for a moment to turn Harry Potter down. And Annie's going to tell you that it's got
Well,
us.
let her tell me. Let me
Okay,
tell
tell
you.
you. Okay, all
Yes.
right. Excuse me.
Today today is Goddess Sunday. And what episode is it? 4?
Three.
3. This is episode 3. And each Sunday we talk about two goddesses. And we've been taking them from my deck, the Goddess Guidance Cards by Doreen Virtue. But today is different because we're going to celebrate Yule goddesses, goddesses of the season. And so we got one of them from this wonderful coloring book that Kim gave me. And Kim found a goddess online. Whoops. Kim found a goddess online that she's going to talk about.
Yes. And so we thought we would just do something for the theme. And we came across a lot of different goddesses, so we had to kind of pick and choose what we wanted to share. When you're reading the folklore, um, the mythos, or the myth, however you see it, I see it as a mythos. Um, we wanted it to be as close to as Christmas and the solstice as possible. So, La Bafana. Now, neither one of us had ever heard of her. Auntie found her online. And the really cool thing about this goddess, and I hope that this picture can at least give you, there we go, a representation of what her image is drawn to be. Yeah, and in many places that I saw, after Andy told me about La Bafana, I saw that she's also called the Christmas Witch, which makes a lot of sense. And her story is very interesting because it intertwines with the story of the baby Jesus. And so, if you are a Christian or a Christo pagan, then she might be of interest to you to try to study a little bit more because apparently her story, her lore is that she was approached by the three wise men. If you know the story of the baby Jesus, she was approached by the three wise men to help them. And she said she was too busy. She's also somewhat of a domestic kind of goddess as well. She was like taking care of home and hearth, and so at the time she turned them down, but later on she decided that she wanted to help look for the baby Jesus, but she really was never able to reconnect with the three wise men. Okay, so her story is that now she is somewhat of like a Saint Nick or Santa Claus character, in which she travels around on her witch's broom and she gives out gifts to children who have been good and who have behaved, and she leaves a chunk of coal for those kids that need to do better. And so her story is familiar in a lot of different ways. What I liked about it was a couple of the reasons why she does this. There were like different tales about that, as there are with most goddesses, but one of them was that she felt remorse for not joining in on the search in the beginning for the baby Jesus. And so she spends her time in a way when she's flying around giving out these gifts. She's spending time in a way trying to recapture that search, trying to go back and look for the baby Jesus. And also, there's another another story about her that I think probably will connect with a lot of people, especially women, was a story of loss and grief, and that she lost her own children. And so, in trying to heal her sorrow, she then takes their gifts, their toys that were left behind, and she first started to go out and give them away. And this is why she still does this today. It's to heal her own grief and her own sorrow during this time of year. So it's a very interesting story. And I forgot to tell you too. She's an Italian goddess. This is Italian folklore, um, and so if you're looking for more information about her, and I hope you do find some more about her, I would like to continue to look for more information about her as well. But I think that even though there's not a whole lot like there is with other more well-known goddesses, I think her story is very rich, and I think like with other deities, um, you can connect to the part of them that most resembles what it is that you're going through, what it most how it most resembles what you believe. So I've also seen a very modern, I don't have that picture, but I'll show you the picture that I have again because I think it's most representative of how it is that people see her. And in a way, she's drawn similar to Baba Yaga in a way. Baba Yaga is a little bit a lot more wild, and free and things like that. And I think that La Bafana is more weighted, more carries more sorrow, maybe even more regret. So there she is. Okay.
Okay, and my goddess today is a Japanese goddess named Amaterasu. And here she is represented.
There we go.
I did that. That's my coloring in that beautiful book that Kim gave me. Amaterasu. Now, Amaterasu is actually a sun goddess, but she had an argument with her brother, which sent her into a spiral of grief and sorrow and despair. And in order to heal, she put herself in a cave into the darkness, to think about the argument, what her part in it was, what his part in it was, and how to rectify their relationship. And while she was in this cave, another goddess, a goddess of laughter named Uzume, came dancing by and lured Amaterasu out of the cave. And Amaterasu sees her reflection in a mirror that Uzume brought, and she's so distracted by her own beauty, she forgets her despair and her sorrow and comes more and more out of the cave. And the moral of the story of Amaterasu is really to honor the dark times in your life, to allow yourself those times that are sad, depressing, like that. And she gives us permission to be in the darkness for a time, like winter, and then to come out into the sun, like the spring.
Yes, and the picture that Andy colored in from this book, as she comes out of the cave, you can see behind it that the sun is beginning to rise again, and that's why she fits this season so well because the solstice is really about the rebirth of the sun. It's about little by little the sun coming back into its own. The days getting a little bit longer. It's the rebirth, and everything before that is considered the death of the sun. And so now we're actually a part of its rising again. And I think that's such a great it's such a great tale about Amaterasu because or Tarasu.
Amaterasu.
Amaterasu. That's so pretty.
Mm.
It's a great tale about her coming out of the cave, but also there's a great lesson behind going in the cave, as Andy explains, to not be afraid to feel, everything that she was feeling. And I think that's the part that many of us skip when it comes to our grief and the sadness, the sad times that we have in our lives, the separations, maybe.
Well, for her, it was a time of loss
Lost,
because
yeah.
she lost her relationship with her brother. And she takes the time in the cave, in the darkness, to heal herself, which is what all of us do when we go through a time of despair.
Yeah.
We enter a dark period and a dark place within ourselves, and we go there to heal.
Yeah. A lot of people try to rush it though,
Yeah.
and
Well, she didn't.
yeah.
She was brought out by her own ego in a way,
Yeah.
and in doing that, she reconnects with the essence of herself, which is a sun goddess.
Yes, yes, exactly. Who she really was,
Yes.
who she really was. And so she brought that light back with her um, as she exited the cave. And I think it's such a beautiful story. I also have lost the relationship with my brother. And I went through a time of, fighting first, to get it back, fighting to understand, and I went through a time of grief and a time of fear, that something would happen to him and I wouldn't know. Just the disconnection is very uncomfortable, but over time, as I allowed myself to feel that way for a long time, over time, I have allowed it to be what it is. And because of that, I've had the good fortune to have someone who calls me, Facebooks me, and tells me that he's okay and that he's doing well. And so that gives me peace. And so I definitely connect to that story. And I'm just so happy that I'm finding out that he's finding his own happiness. And even though I may not be a part of it for him, I'm like totally thrilled that he's finding it for himself. And it may never be the way that it was, but it brings me great joy, to know that he's finding that son for himself, that he's coming out, and he stayed hidden and away from everybody and secluded for a very long time. And now I'm maybe understanding a little bit more about why he did that.
Mm-hmm.
And because we both suffered a lot of grief, so it's a wonderful story for both of these goddesses. La Bafana, if you want to look her up, and as we said, she's an Italian goddess, so that will help you if you have trouble finding her. And then Amaterasu, also is
Amaterasu.
Japanese culture.
She's a Japanese goddess, and she's stunning.
Yes, she is.
She's stunning. And there's the cave behind her and the sun coming up.
And her looking at herself.
Yes, and her looking at herself.
So we don't want to keep you too long today. We just want to say Merry Christmas. We want to continue our goddess series because it's very important to us, and we didn't want to stop. And sometimes when you do that and you take a little break, it's hard to get back going again. And we really didn't want that to happen. But also, we really enjoy doing it. So it's a nice part of our Christmas day here.
We have dogs, or they have us.
They have us,
Yeah.
for real. So
Yeah.
they always want to get in the camera. And then let me get Dobby, because Dobby's playing Santa today. So
I got years ago a Santa suit for Chloe. Chloe's our white Bichon poodle, but she's gotten a bit chubby for the suit. So we regifted it to Dobby, who fits it
Yes.
perfectly.
And here's our new Santa. And Dobby loves it. I mean, he's feeling himself in this thing right
He
here.
is. He really does love it. He loves being wrapped up.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, so say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah started.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Started yesterday.
Kwanzaa will not start until tomorrow.
Yeah.
So happy Kwanzaa. There we go. Dobby is everything to everybody. Okay, and we have to let Max. Max is dying to say happy holidays.
Come on, Max.
As soon as they see the camera come out and we put our lipstick on and everything like that, then oh, here he is. Then they want to say hi. So there's Maxie Doodle.
Hello, Maxie.
Say happy holidays, everybody. And we'll see you on Thursday for
Love and Libations,
which is our weekly chat, our weekly woman talk. But men, you're welcome. You might learn something while you're here.
Yeah.
So, okay, everybody. Bye-bye. Anything else you want to share?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great week.